What's up, guys? So in this video we're going to be going over how to transition from levels 1 through 2. So this is technically a part 2 of our first episode where we designed this basic little platformer, but even if you did not watch this episode and you're just here because you need to learn how to make your character go from one level to another in your 2D game, then this tutorial will work perfectly fine for you. So the first thing we're going to have to do, obviously, is we're going to have to make our second level. So we're going to come in to make a new scene, 2D scene, our 2D node, and we're just going to name this level 2. Now, what we want to do here is we want to get this tile map to our level 2. Now, the issue is if we copy it directly, you'll see that it pops up here, but then we get errors for our current tile map here. So, we can't do that. So, oh crap. What we're going to have to do, we're going to have to come back here and paste this back in. Delete this now. Now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to come to our tile map, and under the inspector, we're going to go over here, and we are going to press save as, and we're just going to save this. So now it should be saved. Hold up, let's find it. Right here. So now we should be able to use it. Oh, sorry. Let's delete this tile map here. Now we should be able to use it. If we come over here. Nope, sorry. Alright, sorry about that. I had a little brain fart right there. So we're going to add a tile map in here, a new one. And we're going to take this tile set, and we're just going to drag it in, and now it's going to be here. And all of our physics layers have also carried over. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to create our level 2. So you guys can go ahead and do that, and I'll see you in a second. Alright, here we are, guys. So I just put together a quick level. So this is going to be our level 2. Do not forget to save this scene. So now what we need to do is we need to work on a way for our player to get from here to here. Now, it's actually a lot easier than you guys might think. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a new scene, and we need a area 2D. So we're going to do area 2D, and we're just going to name this door. So now we are going to add a collision shape for our door, and then we are also going to add a sprite 2D for our door. So make sure that that's a child of the area 2D. And now for our sprite, we're going to come down, we're going to look into our art, and then we want to get the door. So we're going to drag door into this texture area here, and then this is going to be how we get from our levels. So do not forget to save this. And then our collision shape, we're just going to make this collision shape cover about the size of the door. It's almost a perfect fit. Let's make sure we can see the collision shape. So this is going to be our door's collision shape. So now we can get into the coding part of this, which there's actually not too much we have to do. So we're going to create, we can delete this. Sorry about that. So what we're going to do is, first off, we need to create our variables. So variable player in area. This is going to equal false off rip. So this is just going to detect if our player is in the doorway. Now we need an export variable next level. We'll do next level scene, and this is going to equal a packed scene. Sorry about that. This needs to make, this is caps sensitive, so packed scene. Make sure the P and the S are capital. Now what we need to do is we need to connect a signal from our area 2D. So we're going to do the body entered signal. We're going to connect this. So essentially we only want this to work if it is our player that is in our doorway. So to make sure, we're going to go if we're going to do body.name equals our player. And if it is our player, we're going to set player in area. This is going to equal true. Now, next we are going to connect another signal from our area 2D. It's going to be body exited. So if our player has left, that we want it to make sure that player in area is not true. So if body.name equals player, we want our player in area to equal false again. Alright, now that we've taken care of that, what we want now is we're going to go under our, we're going to start a new function. Our function process delta. Alright, so for this we're going to do if player in area and input, we're going to go input dot is action just pressed. We're going to do E. That's what I'm going to do, okay? You guys can pick whatever you want. I'm going to do E. So if input dot if input dot is action pressed, so if E is pressed, what do we want it to do? So we want it to play our next scene. So if next level scene, and we're going to go transition dot fade. So this is going to be for our transition. So I'm doing this now. I'm going to show you what this is for in a minute. Next level scene dot resource. Oh shit. Alright, so this is going to be our door code pretty much complete. This is going to show an error because this transition does not mean anything quite yet, but it will in a minute. So we're actually going to do that right now. So make sure to save this. Now we're going to come and make a new scene, and we're going to start with a canvas layer. And then we're going to make a child of our canvas layer is going to be a color rect. And then after that, all we need is an animation player. So we're going to go to our color rect here, and we're just going to change the color to just black. We want it full black. And then we're going to take our animation player, our animation, we're going to have fade in, and then new, we're going to have fade out. Alright, so we're doing our fade in animation first. We're going to click add track, property track, color rect, color. Alright, so now that we have this, what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to, it looks like, we're going to go, color rect, make sure we're on color rect, go to the inspector, and under color, we're just going to click this key. So that's going to place a key down here in our animation, as you can see. Now we're going to come to the end of our animation. Our animation is 1 second long, that's all we need. And we're going to place another key. So we have two keys here. These are connected. So we're going to take this one. This is our fade in. Okay, so we're going to go from dark to light. So the value of our transition at the end needs to be clear. Like, yeah, here we go. Right here. Completely see-through. Gone. So now if we come here, we can press play. We can see that our color rect slowly fades from black to nothing. So to make sure, first off, we need to make sure that this, we're going to come here to our layout, and under anchors preset, we're going to make sure it covers, we're going to click full rect, so it's going to cover everything, whole screen. Alright, now we're going to do our fade out animation, which is going to be essentially the same. Add track, property track, color rect, color. Come back here, and we are going to start it. Perfect. Yeah, we're going to start with this, and then we're going to key it again, and now this should be fully black. Perfect. So now this is our fade out, and this is our fade in animation. Alright, now that we have our animations done, we do need to add a little bit of code to our canvas layer. So, oh, sorry, we forgot to name this. We're just going to name this our transition. Alright, now we can add script. Alright. So, what are we going to do for our transition script? First off, we need our animation player. So we're going to add that in there. And we're just going to cut this down so it's a lot easier. And then we can get right into our function, our ready function. So, all this is going to do is just animation dot play, and then fade. We're going to do fade in. Yes. Animation dot play fade in. So this is just going to play pretty much as soon as the scene starts. And now we can do a new function. So our function is going to be fade, I think we said to scene. And then we're going to go scene dot path. This is going to be a string. Alright. So this is our fade. Yeah, we need our fade out. Alright. Oh, what's going on here? Alright, sorry guys, forgot the issue. The issue is that was a period. It's supposed to be an underscore. That's why everything was not working. We should be good now. So now we need to get our await And then animation dot animation finished. So await dot animation finished, just telling wait till our animation is finished. And then we are going to get tree dot change scene to packed. And then here we need our scene. So alright guys, so figured out the issue. The issue was that we had this line here was packed and it's supposed to say file. It's a really small issue. It actually took me quite a bit to figure that out, but that's essentially the entire issue. Just change that and then type scene path in here. That's the only thing we changed. Now add one more line. It should say anim.play, and then we want our fade in animation. So that should be the end of our script here. So we're going to go to project settings, auto load. I did this while I was debugging. This is what you guys are going to do. Come in here and you're going to set your transition scene to an auto load. You're going to press open, and then the name should already be there. All you're going to do is press add, and then it should pop up there. All that does is it makes this part of our door code work, and it references this part of our code. Alright, now just make sure you have all of this code, and that's about all you should need. Now I think all we need to do is put our door into our game. I already went in and did it. Just go down to your scenes and place a door in there. And oh yeah, sorry about that. We forgot this. So E. So our input, we're gonna go to our input map here, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna type in the name of the input, which is gonna be E for us, and then you're gonna press add. So I'm gonna do R here as an example. So you're just gonna press plus, and then you're gonna type the key that you want that to go to. So we already have E in there, so that's what E there. That's the name, and that links directly to that button. So now we're gonna go to our game. Make sure your door is instanced in again. Now we're gonna press play and test it out. So as you see, the fade transition happens, and it does transition us to the scene, but we don't have anything going on. We don't have a player in this scene. So that's really easy. We're just gonna instance our player, and we are gonna need to give our player a camera 2D. Alright. Now we're gonna need to do, we're gonna do zoom, I think, what do we have? 4, alright. We're gonna do a zoom of 4. Add that on there. And now we're gonna need to do the limit for the camera. So we're gonna come up here to the ruler tool, and we're just gonna click to where we want the limit for everything. So let's just do this real quick. So if you notice that you're not going to hear my keyboard for this part of it, what happened was the audio here actually got muted while I was recording this, so I am just voicing over this last part. Luckily, there's not much going on. All we're doing here is just resizing our camera to have a limit, and then we pretty much should be done. So testing it out here, as you can see, it will work. You can adjust your guys' camera limit to whatever you want. So now you have a working level. You can implement anything from the last level if you're following the tutorials, or if this was just someone clicking for their own game project and they just needed to learn how to transition through scenes, then you're all set for the most part through here. So yeah, pretty much I'm just going to thank you guys for watching, and I'm probably going to be adding in some new enemies for our next video, coding new enemies. So look forward to that, and thank you guys for watching.